Like, this is sort of irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. Andrew, would you want to know if this guy's on steroids or not? If he had 2 million followers selling all these programs and shit? What is up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. ASMR sip of 1907 water. Check out 1907 water in the description below. Best gym water. And the ASMR spritz. Let's not forget Intelligent Elephant Carbon. Coupon code Russo. You just hear these spritz noise and you're like, I wonder what that smells like. What's in the description. All right, today I'm going to be doing a reaction video to Kenny KO's Natty or Not of the Liver King. Specifically, he said he got gene editing done, which I wanted to touch on. But shout out Kenny KO. And honestly, Kenny is back on fire, right? Kenny KO, I'll have Andrew throw up the Simeon Panda call out. Like, Kenny's a guy who goes into the arena and actually confronts the super inflated fitness egos. And it's always hilarious. And, you know, me and Kenny have been, you know, in the scene for a long time, OG status. And it's really cool to see Kenny back on his shit and back on fire. And he hit the gold mine with the Liver King, right? You know, he had Bradley Castleberry, which was the funniest dynamic I think I've witnessed and the funniest clout steal of all time. It's like the Liver King is exactly what Kenny needed, and boom, calls him out, confronts him, and he said some weird things that relate back to, you know, what I've talked about in the Myostatin pathway. I'll have Andrew throw up a video of me discussing Myostatin in more detail, but Kenny basically wants to know if the Liver King is natty or not, because he's one of these dudes that, I mean, we know this dude has definitely never taken a PD in his life, right? But he's one of those guys that is on his high horse about, you know, being primal as fuck while making millions of dollars off the whole social media brand, right? I'm not talking shit on the Liver King. It's the way he's going about it, and Kenny's just playing along, poking around, and I'm ready to get into this. So shout out Kenny.
Question number 2.
Natty or not?
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Are you?
Why is it ridiculous? Like, everyone is gonna ask this, and like, he plays back into his character. This is ridiculous.
Kidding me? I thought we were way past that.
Yeah.
In terms of Liver King, those guys are way past that, right? There's still a vocal minority of 2% that still ask that question, right? So I'm like, this is sort of irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. Andrew, would you want to know if this guy's on steroids or not? If he had 2 million followers selling all these programs and shit to his Instagram audience that is, you know, heavily swayed by how he looks?
With the accusation, natty or not, for the record,
2%.
for the record,
okay.
I love how he said 2% instead of like the 1%er. So like, he's playing like Rich Piana branded, like throw up Rich Panini.
5%ers is 5% of the people in the world that are willing to do whatever it takes to reach their goals.
The 1%ers, apparently, you know, with the Liver King, it's the 2%ers, right? I just caught that out, and then Kenny's like, am I part of the 2%? Obviously, Kenny is a part of the 2%. That's like, what the fuck is with this dude? Why can't he just like, why can't he drop the facade for a fucking second? Just be blunt about it and go back into the character. No, we gotta stay in this weird character forever.
It's natty, right? And then it turned into ab implants, right? And then it turned into ab etching. And then, I don't know if you heard.
So, Andrew, if you don't know, this guy like went on another podcast, I think it was Logan Paul, where he like blatantly talked about ab implants to once again, you know, this guy's a genius at marketing. He knows if he says he got ab implants, all the parrots, including me with the BS cloud grab, be like, oh my God, the Liver King got ab implants. He can't even train abs anymore. He's so rich, he just gets it. Like, this guy knows what he's doing. He's a genius, but I think it's funny how he stays in this facade so diligently. He's like Micah Hearn. He never breaks character for a second.
It turned into hair implants. I wore a hat all the time in the beginning. Right, and then I took off the hat because I got the hair implants done, right? and I don't know if you heard this one, but in 2018 I went to Singapore. I was the first human to ever have this procedure done, right? I had gene editing done.
Oh, okay.
I had my myostatin gene modified. That's the new thing. That I will confirm.
So I will agree with the Liver King. Myostatin is the next hot PED pathway as far as muscle building goes. Tons of content. I'll have Andrew link some down below where you can browse me using myostatin inhibitors, specifically YK11. I've experienced with injectable YK11, oral YK11. In my current vlog, I'm actually dabbling around with some YK11 currently. So really the Liver King is on point. That is the next big thing. Now, if you went to Singapore and got gene editing done, I would be, you know, why can't he sit down and talk about that if that's true? Because I don't think that's true, and I don't personally, and I would like to be proven wrong because I would like to research into it if he got it done. But if you would modify your myostatin gene, that means your heart would grow, that means everything would grow. So this is his new claim to fame, is he got myostatin gene editing done.
Confirm is true. Everything else is.
Does anyone know that until this point?
Not up until this point.
So not up until this point. Kenny's like, oh, this is the new shit. Like, Kenny is even blown away. Like, man, this dude is always on some bullshit that I'm caught off guard with the next thing that's gonna spark. The Liver King really is unstoppable at this point. I remember when the Liver King popped off, everyone's like, oh, this guy, he's blowing up so quickly. He's not gonna float at the top. I'm gonna be honest, I think he's here to stay, and I think he's an extremely intelligent marketer, and that his character is so polarizing that unless he does something drastically, you know, out of whack, I really don't see this cloud going anywhere away from him, and especially if he's gonna continue with the shenanigans. Now, as far as the ab implants go, just looking at these, they look like implants to me. But if he's actually being, you know, serious about getting gene editing done on myostatin, I mean, I would love for Kenny to pull out the more specifics of what he had done. Gene modifying, gene editing is currently in its infancy, as far as like, it's gonna get to a point where like if you want to have a baby and you're baller and rich enough, you can just literally pick all the stats, like build your character in a fucking video game. And they're currently figuring out, you know, when you tweak a certain gene, it causes a cascading effect of changing other genes. Once they crack the code on that, gene editing will be a very common thing. But if, you know, Liver King says he already modified his myostatin, which, for example, gorillas have extremely low myostatin. I'll have Andrew threw up a picture of my dog, Ghost. He was selectively bred over the years for low myostatin. Basically, my dog, I walk him once a day, I play around with him, and he looks like he's on juice 24/7. Basically, Liver King is saying that he's completely natural with his ab implants and whatever the hell, you know, eating the wrong, whatever. You know, it's the primal diet, but now he's skating back like, oh, I am natural, but I have my genes unnaturally modified. So that's his new stick. Comment what you think down below. I'll see you guys in my next video.